The lesson 1, rebellion and redemption. Lesson 1, the teacher's guide. Step 3, apply. But first, consider this. Why is it correct to say that the figure described in Isaiah and Ezekiel is supernatural and goes beyond the representation of the literal kings of Babylon and Tyre? Step 3, apply. Just for teachers, the fall of Satan and subsequently that of Adam and Eve involved the exercise of free will. As we encourage class members to apply the principles of this week's lesson to their lives, it is essential to highlight the importance of properly using our intellectual powers to make good choices. Thought application questions. First, given that fallen human beings still have the freedom to choose, how can you best exercise this power? If we note the characteristic features of Satan's rebellion, how are those desires, ambitions, jealousies, and thoughts manifested in the lives of human beings, including believers? 3. How is the gradual manner in which Satan slid into rebellion related to the process by which we abandon our faith in Christ? 4. How can we as Christians live fully aware of Satan's Satan's unrelenting plot to deceive and destroy, yet do you without the fear that such consciousness may engender? And 5. What can you do this week that will help you and those around you to overcome the advance of Satan activity? Ask members of your class to cite evidence or relate experiences that teach on that all human beings are subject to the consequences of the fall. Step 4, create. Just for teachers, assist the members of your class in reflecting on the implications of their freedom of choice, either the use or misuse. With the gift of freedom comes the onus of responsibility. Also, assist them in reflecting on the dangers of pride, often as a result of some talent they may have under such circumstances. How may our God-given talents become our bane? Each of these two themes, freedom of choice and the dangers of pride, can form the basis of skits to further the students' understanding activity. Ask members to brainstorm to create a skit that depicts the exercise of the freedom of choice. One example is to depict a young teenager who has come of age and no longer wishes to be bound by parental do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts. Yeah, I just finished the lesson study, and I'm just stopped on the inside story, but I will try to one more time. It's enough time I have. Next time I will read not just the lesson study but teacher study, and every week I will try to read every lesson one by one, but I need to read teacher's lesson, how to teach for the students, how to share with students. The inside story, life bearer to the Amazon. The longer river in South America is the Amazon, flowing from the Andes mountains of Peru to the Atlantic Ocean, a distance of nearly 4,000 miles, 640 6,400 kilometers. In the 1930s, Pastor Leo and Jesse Hollywell started a mission to reach people living there, navigating the Amazon in their handcrafted wooden boat in Rosario, Liberia in Portuguese. The Hollywells brought hope and healing to countless people living along this famous waterway. Many mission stories have come from the Hollywells' experiences. Below is a favorite written by Charlotte Iskanian. Angels on the Amazon. Pastor Hollywell steered the Rosario Liberia along the river while his 15-year-old son Jack stared into the jungle, hoping to see a jaguar. The jungle leopard. Overhead, a brilliant macaw flew by, squawking loudly. Then the boat's engine slowed, and Jack noticed the three well-dressed men waving at the Rosario from a canoe. "Hello," one man called out. "Can you give us a tow upstream?" Pastor Hollywell knew it was dangerous to give hijackers a ride, but something impressed him to stop. "Throw them a line, Jack," he called to his son. Jack threw the man the rope, and the men attached it to their boat. Two men climbed aboard and stood beside Pastor Hollywell as he steered the boat up the river. Suddenly, one of the men grabbed the wheel and turned the boat around. The boat shuddered. The boat shuddered and moved suddenly away from the river bank and out into the middle of the river. The sudden movement nearly threw Jack overboard. Pastor Hollywell stared at the waters they had just crossed. Not 20 minutes from where they had been heading, the jagged points of hundreds of rocks lay just beneath the surface of the water. If the boat had hit those rocks, it would have been ripped apart. "Phew!" Pastor Hollywell exclaimed. "Thank you. You saved our boat and probably our lives." The man smiled but said nothing as he steered the boat through the rocky waters. Then the man gave the wheel back to Pastor Hollywell. "Thank you for the ride, sir," the man said. "If you stop, we will get out now." "This is strange," thought Pastor Hollywell. "There are no signs of village nearby." Nevertheless, he stopped the boat, and the two men climbed back into their canoe and pushed off into the current. "Watch where they go," Leo called to Jack. "Dad, they've disappeared," Jack called. Leo turned from the wheel. The river was empty. There was no bend in the river, no ripples in the water. The three men and their canoe had disappeared. It comes from Charlotte Iskanian, former Mission Quarterly editor. Editor sent this inside story. So I'm so interested about the end of the inside story.